A big what's up to everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This week, James Harden officially signed his free agent deal with the 76ers to keep him in Philadelphia for at least one more season on a 2-year, $69 million deal. It has been extensively reported that Harden took less money from the organization to help the team add more depth in hopes to finally make it past the second round and ultimately win an NBA championship. This move has been applauded by various groups across the NBA fandom, especially many 76ers fans who have been asking for a beefed up bench for ages, as well as the national media who has been labeling Harden as a selfish player for as long as I can remember. A question that many of us want to know is this the beginning of team player, team first Harden? Depending on your perspective, we shall see. Regardless, I think we can all agree that after a season of not being up to his statistical standards, some believe the beard has become washed and past his prime, never to return. And I'm here to say, you good sir and our madam are wrong. I pray. Here are 3 reasons why James Harden will return to MVP form this season, or at least close to it. Number 1, improved health. Anybody from the biggest James Harden stan to the semi-casual NBA watcher can tell you that the 10-time All-Star hasn't looked right in the last 2 seasons. Though he is still averaging good numbers, nearly a triple-double, the pop-quick first step to the hoop that is synonymous with James Harden's offense just hasn't been there recently. This is the result of recurring hamstring tightness/injury issues that he has been dealing with since his time in Brooklyn that was exacerbated 2 playoffs ago when he injured himself during the Nets-Bucks series. Having been able to have a full offseason, or at least going into one with no major injuries, should be a godsend for Harden to the point where he is able to focus strictly on his conditioning and leg strength. All I've been seeing Harden do on social media recently is participating in running drills, so at the very least you know that he is conscious about where his body is at 32 years old. He has been quoted by Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports that going into his 14th NBA season, he is in a good space physically and mentally, a sentence that bodes well for Sixer fans. Number 2, the Philadelphia 76ers roster is collectively OP. Now I know it is historically the in-fashion thing to make fun of the 76ers because they do deserve it, but I would definitely make the argument that they have a top 5 starting unit in the NBA, led by 2-time MVP snub Joel Embiid that made some key additions in the offseason to bolster their depth. You know your team is filled with talent when Tobias Harris is your 4th go-to offensive option. Having more players around Harden at this stage in his career will allow him to not simply play hero ball as much and focus on the facilitation aspects of his game, especially with Tyrese Maxey. We saw a glimpse of how their games complemented each other last season, but with a whole offseason together building up chemistry, expected to go to the next level this season. Long story short, this is a championship contending roster as people forget that the Sixers ended as a top 10 team defensively and offensively last season, ranking 7th in both of those categories, as well as ending 5th, a top 5 team in net overall rating. They only got better this offseason with depth. And finally, number 3, motivation to win a championship. James Harden is well accomplished with accolades going into his 14th NBA season. He is a 10-time All-Star, 3-time NBA scoring champ, 6-time All-NBA first team, has a 6th Man of the Year under his belt as well as an MVP, but he has yet to win an elusive NBA championship. It is clear that this bothers him, and you can tell that he hears some of the outside noise, to the point where he has said in his own words recently, "I want to compete for a championship. That is all that matters to me at this stage." This is why he took a $15 million pay cut to improve the roster. He reportedly has even gone as far to become vegan to improve his on-court health. And that's when you know Bulls really want this John. Changing his whole diet. He's taking everything more seriously, beginning his off-season regiment workouts earlier than usual, to accepting his veteran leadership role and responsibilities with the younger players, especially Tyrese Maxey. The stigma of being a selfish player has surrounded Harden for much of his career, and he knows that a championship will not only silence his haters, but cement his top 75 legacy. He is feeling the pressure and know it is do or die time. So we shall see. So what do y'all think? Will Harden come back as that Bull, or will we see more of the same? Let me know in the comment section.
The last 2 years has been a whirlwind for me as far as, like, you know, my body-wise. So this year I'm looking to have an unbelievable season. I don't want to just go out there and be running around and not being efficient and, you know, just looking old out there. You know, I still want to be really, really, really good. So summer, working on my body, working on things, finding the right pieces, making sure, creating more chemistry with my teammates and coaches and organization, and then just getting a kick start, you know, having workouts with the guys, making sure we go into the season, you know, on the same page and be on top of my game.